Hey everybody, Rose Matter here, and welcome to my reaction and discussion for episodes 3 and 4 of the Psycho Pass anime. Of course, I started Psycho Pass last week, and I really am enjoying it so far. I love the world. I just love this whole thing. This is more of like a futuristic crime drama. It's very different from Fate Zero. And while I enjoyed Fate Zero, what I liked about Psycho Pass is that it felt like I understood the world and the story a lot faster. I didn't need a whole bunch of backstory of to like what that whole world is about, where it took me some time before I felt like I was starting to understand it. With this one, I'm like, okay, I feel like I get it. I just really like the idea of this kind of dystopian future where the system, it determines what job you should have, what you should do with your life in order to be happy. And of course, the big thing is that people are accused of crimes before they've even committed them. And this the system tries to rehabilitate these criminals, quote unquote criminals, or taking them out if they are deemed too dangerous. So, of course, a system like this is not perfect. And so far, it makes it seem like it is a perfect system. Nothing can go wrong with it, but I have a feeling that's not quite the case. And we also have a very strong protagonist with Akane. I just like her immediately. I like that she's just this fresh-faced, idealistic, new cop who has her idea of right and wrong, and immediately she doesn't like the idea of, punishing people for crimes they haven't committed yet. Because as we saw with the first episode with the woman who ended up becoming a victim because her emotions were so high, the system determines that she will also become a criminal, so they need to take her out before that's the case. And Akane managed to jump in, and rather than just execute her, she used like her human empathy and was able to save this woman. So there already we're seeing kind of potential flaws in the system, and Akane is kind of at odds with it. And then she's also got her group of enforcers who are criminals that are kind of indentured to help the police catch other criminals. So I just really like this whole story so far, and I feel like there's a lot of potential for like some philosophical, conversations about crime and all of this stuff. So a very strong start. So I'm excited to see where we're going to go with episodes 3 and 4. I think I've talked long enough. Let's go ahead, let's watch episode 3 and 4, and we'll discuss it afterwards. And there's definitely the focus on this guy. I like this guy too, one of the enforcers, but it shows he's not just, a criminal. He has like his own ideas about, he doesn't just go with what the system says. Like, he thinks that people can be rehabilitated as well, it seems like, when they talk with Akane. And I mean, he's not bad to look at, so bonus. So he definitely seems like he's going to be a very central character to this. I mean, I'm not above having a little bit of eye candy as well. I'm okay with this. And then, of course, there's that introduction with the guy with the white hair, which we saw at the very, very beginning of the first episode. There's obviously some bad blood there. Something going on with him and that white hair guy, because he said that to Akane, that he has some like unfinished business or something to that effect. So there is a big emphasis on this guy, and as I said in the first 2 episodes, it sometimes takes me a couple of episodes before I kind of get the names down. I think his name starts with a K, but I can't remember what it is. Akane's the only character whose like name I'm like, okay, I got that. But hopefully we'll learn about some of the other enforcers. There was the guy with the red-headed guy, who's like the goofy guy. Oh, and that was another thing too, about how he had that conversation with Akane about how, like, I think he said he was 5 years old and the system declared that he will be nothing but a criminal. So from a very, very young age, some people are just screwed over. It'd be like, there's no chance for you to kind of rise above your lot in life. You're just destined to be like a lesser person. So the drones, those are those they're like the cop drones, right? Ooh, do we have like a potential murder mystery? I had to figure out if one of his coworkers might be behind it. Okay, all right. All right. I like this. So, I like the idea of kind of like a self-contained mystery with each episode. You got to try and figure out what's going on. He's like he's like I don't know how I feel about that considering they're criminals. Oh, she's so cute. But here we got the thing of like, was it an accident with this drone, or was this planned? And they also said like it's a live-in job. They have to like work constantly. That's kind of like slave work almost. Man, I feel bad for the people who basically are told like this is what your job is going to be. Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare job. And they said that's the third time that this has happened at this place. This guy's intrigues me as well, this older guy. Oh, that's not suspicious at all. The fact that like the drone got white. Okay, so you've got a situation where nobody seems to have been... Okay. So on the surface level, it seems like nobody could possibly have done the crime because nobody's cues were different. I don't think this company cares too much about people's lives. This guy seems suspicious. He's basically come back with awards, essentially. I feel like this is hits a little bit too close to like real life right now. It's pretty interesting that in a high stress environment like this where people don't really get to relax, that nobody's experiencing any high stress levels. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. It's like a completely closed off area. That's why they have to bring them outside of the facility. That means that someone's able to fool the system. Oh. Oh, shit. I bet this boss is doing something to mess around with the somehow to make it so that everybody seems like they've got good hues so that nobody is like messing around with it because obviously there's some stuff going on here. It's not all hunky-dory. Is that the way? Oh, that's it. So they just basically pick on each other because they have no distractions. Wow. Wow, so it's basically just like a designated person to have everybody pick on to release their stress. God damn, that is fucked up. Wow, man, that's so fucked up. Oh, I like this guy. I gotta learn what this enforcer's name is, because he's pretty cool. I like he sees the injustice here, that like how fucked up this is, that this poor guy, like this is his whole job, is just to be a whipping boy. I might be a little bit in love. It doesn't take much. Oh. I think she might be maybe she's having some feelings too. Wow. So maybe he's getting his revenge on the worst of the people that were picking on him. So he seems like the most likely suspect. Oh. Hmm. So they're saying that like he knew he was about to kill somebody. Unless you're right? Yeah. So that's how he gets his stress out. Oh my goodness. Wow. So this guy's the standard, like by the book. The the system is perfect. We must listen to the Sibyl system. It's never wrong. Maybe he's covering it up on purpose. Bum bum bum. Oh, she touched on something she shouldn't have. Good for her for standing up for herself. She's learned to speak more. Oh, I wonder if he's gonna try and sabotage her. Maybe he's like, oh, such a shame. You had such good scores. Maybe he was like her at some point and he got something happened to him and now he's just like, or maybe he's always been like that. Maybe he never had that idealistic, starting like she did. All right, so everybody seems to know something's going on with that. Like, she said something she shouldn't have. Oh, just like that kid in high school gets picked on. No, no, no. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Hey, hey, come on, don't. Oh, boy. I was like, don't. You seem cool. Like, please. It's probably. This is probably like a red herring. Someone we don't think about. I hope maybe he's just playing bad cop. Maybe this is a good cop, bad cop kind of thing. Because he was so nice to him before. So somebody said that this is more closely to where is it, like China, I think, where people have like their social number, whereas if you do bad things, then like people can see your social number or something. Like, I could be wrong, but all right, let's see this. All right, all right. So he just like activated him basically. Just to get proof, right? Johnny Manami. Okay, well, never mind. It seems like he was spot on for who the culprit is. Okay, I was kind of hoping maybe there'd be like a twist ending, like, you know, maybe it was the foreman. And this just goes to show once again that people can do things and it fucks up a person and it makes them do things they might not normally do, like with that woman who had a traumatic experience and then her hue went all off and it said that she was going to become a criminal because something happened to her. Just like with this guy, his whole job is literally just to be like the bitch boy of this factory. So of course he's going to lose his mind and want revenge. And now he's being threatened with having his life ruined. So it's one of those things where it's just like, I don't agree with how that he wants to kill people, but I understand. All right, it's pretty cool. I love that they had all of that, like it was all a setup from the start. Ogami, okay. Gotta remember his name. All right, so how is he gonna be? Is he just straight up dying or is he gonna be rehabilitated? Because at this point, he's committed murders, so. All right, destroy. All right. That's pretty cool. I like that they. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he looked like he was having fun. Yeah, he looked like he was enjoying himself. So, okay, there's more to this guy than meets the eye. That's what I like about it. I like three-dimensional characters. What was I gonna say? I like that this has a mix of like mystery and kind of like crime, like trying to solve the crime, but action as well. I had the same thought when I was watching him, like when he's running away and stuff, and he was like knocking that guy around. He looked like he was enjoying himself a little bit too much. This is okay. This is a little bit of a different Opening? What in the world? Okay, this is strange. What? I'm intrigued. This is about Akane, right? Oh. This is talking about Kagami, right? Like, is this some sort of program? Like a virtual thing? I'm assuming so. It's almost like a VR thing, right? Yeah. That is so strange. Is this what VR is gonna be like in the future? We're gonna go and like basically get therapy sessions or at least, you know, have what's the word I'm thinking of? Like a fortune teller. Who knows? Maybe something like that already exists that I don't know about. So already we're seeing a little bit of not drama between them, but like he's not the person that she thought he was from the beginning. He seemed like he was a reasonable person, but he's obviously got a dark side to him. But come on, we all like a guy with a little bit of a dark side. I still like Agami. So there we go. I've two people's names I know so far. And then her supervisor. Oh, I can't remember what his name is, but he's interesting as well. Obviously, there's something going on with that guy where he he's got something he's not telling Akane about, but the other enforcers know about. Like, oh, I was his name like Gino or something? Like, oh, I can't believe you just said that right to his face. Oh, Gino's and yet she's coming to this guy asking for advice, kind of like a friend, a little bit. Is that what he's saying? Like she should do with him as well? But look at him, he's a painter. He's obviously got a sensitive side as well. And they're always so vague about it. It's just like, just tell why, what happened to him? They all always have to talk in riddles. So they've got a history, obviously. What is with everybody? What's with everybody in these shows having so many names that start with K? It's so hard to keep track. That's the dream, right? That's feels like it cuts a little bit close to home with all like these days. Everybody wants to just be famous online and make lots of money. You know what? The way that this is, where it's just like you're being watched all the time, I wouldn't judge people for just wanting to not go outside very much. It's amazing how the enforcers are so like they're always thinking the exact same thing. To something it was moved to hide something. Okay, maybe. That's pretty cool. I like that they're using that as okay. It really does seem like he's like was a detective or wanted to be a detective. Maybe he was a detective who gave into the darkness. And that's why maybe why the toilet was out of order. That's a lot of information to glean just from that. He must have been a detective. Okay, so he was called Gino. I'll probably call him that. That's easy to remember, Gino. Oh, he was the thing that. Oh, she's like, wait a minute. Yep. I wonder if they're going to find out what the talisman was saying to Akane this morning. That'd be awkward. Considering she was talking about a colleague of hers. And maybe they'll have Akane go back in and talk to Talisman, since she did it before. So it wouldn't look so suspicious. Yeah, it's gotta be Akane, right? She literally said that she had talked to him. That's so strange. Can you choose what you look like when you go into this world, or is it just chosen for you automatically? I just can't take it seriously. He's talking in such a like serious way, but it's just a floating coin. Spooky boogie. This is definitely a different kind of murder mystery here. It's just taking place in the virtual world. Oh. This seems like a horrifying future. I would never want to go online if this is the kind of stuff that could happen. Oh, so someone that she went to school with. Did she kill him, maybe? As like a... And then is controlling his avatar? If she did, I don't think she would straight up be like, we went to school together. That would be a big clue. So maybe she wants to know what happened as well. She knows that that's not actually him. Everybody on the internet has a shelf life, right? Spooky booky. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Be crazy if she was actually like one of Akane's friends, like not just a classmate. So she's kind of like gonna help to maybe flush out whoever. Okay. I can imagine, having be like, I don't know what the hell this is. This makes no sense to me. And this guy too would be like trying to talk to my parents about stuff online. Be like, what? I don't understand. Oh, so it's an actual, okay. So it's an actual physical meetup. People in costume. Okay. That's pretty cool. I was wondering, I'm like, how can you know what people's coefficients are over the internet? I was kind of hoping, come on, is she not gonna go in costume? I was hoping like her and Kagami were gonna go in costume. Come on. There we go. That's horrifying. Wait, does that mean he's just gonna be a coin walking around or floating around? I do not like that look of Akane. Ooh, creepy. Oh, I guess, yeah, I guess it makes sense that they would be able to change the look of the area. Yeah, they're all just. I love it. Everybody on the internet is just a degenerate, basically. Oh, that's hilarious. It's like they found like 4chan. It's like a 4chan meetup or something, where it's just like everybody's just terrible people. I wonder if she's gonna end up dead next. Yep. Oh, that's creepy. Oh. Well, that's just so creepy. He's just waiting for her. He's like, I gotta wait for the right moments. That's what I'm learning is just people taking their online avatars way too seriously. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Wait, what? Oh, okay. All right. So this is going to be a continuing thing cuz I've been used to like the what's the word? Like it getting wrapped up in one episode. Okay, so this guy seems like or these people seem like they're going to be a persistent enemy. So, all right. So this seems like it's leading into something a little bit bigger. This is not just a one-off murder. This is like a serial killer who is obsessed with taking over people's avatars because they think that they could be better. And also maybe for the money and for the fame. Interesting though. I guess like with a world like this where you know, a lot of stuff taking place online, it would make sense that we would have some crimes that are also online as well. That was just a wild episode. That was just so different in terms of just like it was kind of goofy, but also horrifying at the same time when you see like all of those instruments laid out to like dissect this girl. Well, it's like Kogami said, right? It was someone who cut them up into little teeny tiny pieces so that their body can't be found. All right, so an interesting couple of episodes. So episode 3 seemed to just be kind of like I said, a self-contained murder mystery similar to like the previous episodes where it's just dealing with a person for one episode, everything's wrapped up nice and tight. And in that episode, you could see, as like Akane said, whereas Kagami said in the second episode that he is like, he wants to be a detective and he kind of thinks along the same lines of Akane. Um, you also saw, like she said, he was like a carnivorous beast or something, like she was like he was chasing after prey, the way that he was nice to that guy initially and then like wanted to kind of rile him up to get him to act, which was smart, but at the same time, he seemed to be kind of enjoying himself a little bit. And then, like running away as they're being attacked, he seemed like he was kind of having fun with it a little bit. So obviously, he's not quite as one note as just like, oh, I'm a detective and I want to do things like I care about justice and stuff. So I'm intrigued by that, and Akane seems to be as well. She just can't seem to like get him out of her head. As we saw in the next episode with her talking to that talisman guy about her coworker, and then talking to the older man. I really have to learn these characters' names. I apologize. The one who's basically like the father figure, mentor kind of character, about how she really wants to try and understand Kagami. And props to Akane for wanting to treats the enforcers with respect as opposed to Gino, who just basically sees them as like dogs, attack dogs. And he doesn't seem to care about what they think. He keeps shooting them down, even though they're right pretty much every time. When he's like, that's ridiculous. Whenever they are like, this was a murder, blah, blah, he doesn't believe them. And then they end up being right every time. So I don't know why he still doesn't understand that maybe he should listen to the enforcers more. It's just, I think it's a lack of respect. He just sees them as criminals. The system is perfect. Don't don't question it, all that type of thing. Whereas Akane, she's trying to maybe not befriend the enforcers, but she's at least trying to kind of get on their level, to understand them more, to work with them as colleagues rather than just like, I'm the boss, you are my subordinates. But yeah, it was like, so that the first episode there was interesting about, once again, it was like I brought up it's like that girl in the first episode where she had a horrible thing happen to her, and of course it affected her hue and her crime coefficient going up as a result, because you know, whether it's even correct or not, whether she was actually going to commit a crime. In this case, they were correct that this guy, his hue was off. He was basically that was really sad, that whole thing about like, it seems like his job was basically to be brought here to be kind of the punching bag for the overworked, overstressed workers since they have no other outlets. It like takes it to the extreme. I was thinking like, man, how crappy would that be? Work at a place where you don't have internet access, you can't distract yourself with either, mundane things going on online, being able to talk to people. You're just stuck basically doing slave labor. They have to live there. They work around the clock, super stressful. So they literally have to bring in someone for everybody to just beat on to kind of get their jollies and be able to relieve their stress. So of course, a situation like that, this guy, that's his whole life. And of course he's going to snap and turn on people. So it does show how in some cases that does happen, where it's just like the Sibyl system put him in this position, and then he has a breaking point, and then he becomes a criminal, and he is punished as a result. It's just a really messed up situation. And then the episode 4 was interesting in a completely different way. It started off very differently. It's just very dreamlike, this VR thing. It goes more into like, I guess, the internet culture, the VR culture, whatever. And it's a little spooky how you can almost see something like that happening maybe in the future. You can already see it with, people who have their online personas and they make a lot of money because of it. They are basically like celebrities. And then you see kind of the extreme version of this is someone who is going after these popular people and killing them and taking over as them. And I'm assuming like taking their money and also their fame. Just, it would be like the equivalent of if, I guess, you have like YouTubers or Twitch streamers or whatever, maybe people in costume so you can't actually see who they are, someone just basically assassinating and taking over as them and getting their fame and money. It's kind of messed up. I just also love, like, at the party, almost everybody there had like a crazy high crime coefficient or whatever. It's just like, it's just the degenerates of the internet all gathered together. I just thought that was kind of funny. But what's not funny is the girl, Spooky Boogie, which I felt bad for laughing to myself every time they said her name. I don't know why that was funny to me. But who is apparently knows Akane and went to school with her. I don't know if they were friends or maybe just classmates or whatever, but just like that, she's killed off by this guy who's working with, it seems like a crime syndicate or something. It's like, this isn't just one obsessive person who wants fame. This seems to be like, this is a business, almost like kill off these people, take over, and get their money. So that's interesting. And unlike the other episodes, this one did not just like end in one episode where like they figured out who it was and they stopped him and that's that. It's like, this seems like this is going to be something that's going to be at least a couple of episodes. Maybe this might even be the overarching villain of this season. So that has me intrigued, and I like that they're going into the online stuff as well. So that will do it for this. I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed. You guys can let me know in the comments what you had, your thoughts about these episodes. If there's anything I missed or just some interesting points that you'd like to make, I'd love to hear about them. I, of course, am still really enjoying this show, and I hope more sweaty topless Kagami as well. Let's hope for more of that. I'm so down for that. So I hope you guys did enjoy my reaction and discussion of episodes 3 and 4 of Psycho Pass, and stay tuned next week for episodes 5 and 6. Until then, bye guys.
Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Nana, Kaori Mikoto, Revealing Storm, Tequila Mockingbird, Jared Fan, Saya, Asborn Kennedy, Harry Gazif, Pancake G, iCognito, and Matt Goldsmith.